Today we traveled to Gale Woods Farm to take the Farm Loop trail. The trail is a 2.1 mile lollipop loop that took us about an hour to complete. There's roughly 110 feet of elevation gain over the duration of the trail. The trail is split between an open field area and the woods, so you'll likely have to contend with both sun and potentially bugs as well. The trail starts from the farm store area. It goes past the barn and then some of the greenhouses. We were almost immediately greeted by the farm cat as we started the trail. The path then comes to kind of a divergence of trails. It took me a minute, but the trail isn't the foot-sized path that leads directly to the left, but actually the dirt road-sized area that also has a gate. It goes straight until near the sheep and then turns off to the left. The first section of the trail passes through a lot of animals. The aforementioned sheep, which when we hiked it were very close to the fence, the chickens at the very beginning of the trail, and there were also cattle along the hill as you crest it and pass the turnoff for Whitetail Lake Trail. There's a small wetland off to the left, slightly obscured by the nearby trees. The pastures continue along the right side, although when we took it in early May, there were no animals in them. The trail then heads upwards, and this is where you get a good amount of the elevation. And you're not quite able to see what's ahead after this part, but once you reach the high area, you can see a good distance down the winding trail across the rolling hills. There's a nice bench about halfway through the section that's a good place to stop and enjoy this open expanse before continuing onward. At the end of this wide open grassy area, the trail enters the woods, and then you start to lose the elevation you gained going up the hill and rather rapidly decline in a downhill canopy covered section of the trail. The trail winds back through the woods, perfectly shaded. There is some wetlands to your right as you head this way, and make sure to keep an eye out, as these are the type of areas that you'll see deer grazing at or looking for water on the far side of the wetland. My favorite part of this trail was the back section when you head down. I'm always a fan of shady areas after wide open stretches out in the sun, and I mean, who isn't? It's nice to cool down a bit after that. This section brought more though, with a neat kind of root formations on the hill, as well as sections of the hill that were almost entirely covered in moss. I love moss, and it reminds me of home, as when I was growing up, my father planted 50 evergreen trees along this existing tree line, and when they got tall enough, there was a gap between the existing tree line and the evergreen section that was completely shaded, and it formed the most comfortable stretch of area in my yard. My brother and I used to run down there barefoot to get the soft feel of the moss on our feet. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this hike, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more trails across the country, hit that subscribe button.